Goons, which Mr. Gibbons told me that you are the Goon Whisperer.
It is true. I am the Goon Whisperer. I don't know what it is. People are like, I haven't seen them in 600 raids, and I'll fight them.
Yeah.
Literally, when I found them with Gibbon, we fought them 7 times that. Or I'm sorry, it was with a different group of people as well, but I fought them 7 times in one day.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
He said you guys did a raid where it was 4 back-to-back, 3 on Lighthouse and 1 on Customs, and he was just like,
yes.
It was amazing.
Yeah. It's crazy how much I run into them. I don't know if it's like the special Goon cologne or something, but I run into them so much.
Yeah.
And I would like to think I'm like kind of a pretty knowledgeable about fighting them.
Yeah. Welcome to Tarducks, a podcast for content creators to come on, share their experiences, stories, and advice. And today I have Jay. Welcome to Tarducks.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you taking the time, man. Nyxia called you out on when she was on the pod. It says, I got to have you on and Reefy. So welcome.
Yeah. Nyxia is a gem and I love her so much. She's great.
So speaking of her, I actually reached out to her to ask to give me a couple of quick questions that we start the pod off with, and she gave me 2 suggestions. Nothing bad.
Okay.
First one is to ask you about your world record.
Okay. Yeah. So I have been full-time streaming since August of 2019, and basically before then I tried to stream. But what happened was, I had such bad internet. Like I was dropping like sometimes 100,000 frames a stream.
Oh my God.
Right? Like, I mean, it was bad. It was like I could not stream. And so they had like technician after technician after technician, like a dozen technicians came out to my house to end up like fix my issue. And what I ended up having to do to fix it was I moved. I just had to move houses. Yeah. So whenever I moved in this new house, Edison Park Live had just beat the world record for the most hours streamed in 1 month, which was 541 in 1 month, 541 hours. And I was like, I could do that. I kind of considered myself like a high endurance person, and I was like, I could totally do that. I could totally stream that many hours in a month, like maybe 1 more hour than him, right? I could do that. And I decided to start to quit my job. And, I had like, a lot of my savings. And so obviously don't ever do that unless like you're very comfortable. And the idea was just to quit my job for like a month, right?
Yeah.
And beat the world record. And then I'd go back if things weren't going like super, super well. But I quit my job. And then I streamed 569 hours in 1 month, and that was crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and this was before you could sleep on stream.
Yeah.
So, now it's like obviously you can just stream 500 or 710 hours or whatever it's in 30 days.
Yeah.
But you used to not be able to sleep on stream, so you had to be very strategical with when you could sleep and like how long you would stream and stuff like that, so that you could end up like getting as many hours out of the streams as possible.
Yeah.
But that was crazy. But that was a lot of growth for my channel, and it ended up helping me go full time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend doing it, and I'd never do it again. But that was crazy.
So like, did you just disappear for the month? Then everybody's like, "Where's Jay?"
No, I mean a lot of my family know I was doing it.
Yeah.
A lot of my family knew I was doing it, so they didn't care about that. And then my brother, who I live with, was actually really helpful.
Yeah.
He's actually also a partnered streamer.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. He plays Star Citizen.
Cool.
But so he was really helpful with, if he ever like went to the store, he'd like grab me stuff too and stuff like that. So I mean, like I basically just slept and streamed that entire month. So yeah, that was crazy though.
Oh wow. Basically, you're going out to your favorite restaurant, and what are you getting to eat?
That's actually really tough. Man, that's really, really tough. There was this really, really, really good. Man, there's these two places that really stick out to me
Yeah.
as like the best food I've ever had.
Oh, okay.
Which there was, man, there, man, that's so tough. That's so tough. So there's this one place in downtown Dallas called the Blind Butcher, and they serve this giant New York strip called the Texas Strip.
Yeah.
And it's like local, and it's local, and it's like just freaking, I mean, that thing was magical good.
Oh,
I like
wow.
still remember how that steak tasted.
Yeah.
That was super good. It was served with like these like I forget what it was. It was like truffle fries with like a duck egg on top, and then
Oh,
like this
wow.
coleslaw. And I hate coleslaw. I actually, well, I wouldn't say hate,
Yeah.
but I do not enjoy coleslaw. It's not my go-to side. That coleslaw was really good.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it was like just this phenomenal New York strip that I got out of this like, you know, hole in the wall rinky dink
Yeah.
little steakhouse in downtown Dallas. That was really good. And then there's this sandwich place that is actually local to San Diego. So if you're going to TwitchCon, definitely check it out. It's called the Crack Shack. And the idea is like sandwiches are so good that they're like crack.
Right.
But it was made by a guy who won Iron Chef.
Oh,
And man, those sandwiches are so good. They've got like a sauce bar and
Yeah.
like these, I mean, just these sandwiches are out of this world. They're so good.
Oh, cool.
And I remember I was driving back to LA from San Diego, and I was sitting in the car, and I was like, I should have gotten a second sandwich. You know, like I was just really wanted a second sandwich.
Yeah.
So those two were really good. Man, that's tough though. Like what's like, I guess the question really was like, what's my favorite food? But
Yeah.
like, man, those were really good.
Yeah.
Crack Shack's incredible. Can't wait to go to San Diego here in like less than a month to go do that.
Yeah.
And then, man,
Now you're
there's a
hungry.
lot of good food out there. I also really love Tex-Mex. Tex-Mex is very big. Tex-Mex is a very good hit for me. That's really good. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Awesome. All right. So now let's jump into it. So I
Okay.
guess first of all, how did you meet Nyxia? How did you end up crossing paths with her?
That's a good question, actually. How did I meet Nyxia? I remember being in her stream. I popped in her stream while she was playing with someone, probably like Sigma or something. She was doing like a 5-man with Sigma or something. And I remember popping in her stream and following her. And I think I just like either I sent her a message or she sent me a message,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Yo, let's game." And then, oh, you know what it was actually? You know what it was? I just remembered. Okay. So it was the end of Wipe. It
Yeah.
was the end of Wipe. And I got invited. This is after I'd followed her. This is the first time we played together. It was in Wipe like 4 wipes ago. And we both got invited to come play with, it was Sheaf, Genji, and Nyxia. And then they invited me to come play with them. And that was the first time I played with Nyxia. And yeah, it was just I don't know, right there. I felt like we hit it off.
Yeah.
You know, and definitely, you know, we ended up just playing a lot together. And then I was playing with her one day, and then she was like, "Yo, I'm gonna invite this one other guy to come play with us."
Yeah.
And it was Reef, and that was that ended up like just kicking off this magical triple friendship that we have between me, Nyxia, and Reefer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Those guys are both awesome.
Yeah.
I love them so much. They're great.
Now, have you gotten to meet them in real life yet?
No, Reef I have, but not
Yeah.
Nyxia. Reef I have multiple times, but Nyxia unfortunately lives a little bit further. But yeah, we talk about this all the time. We're like, man, we need to like have some sort of like some point we all need to meet up. Unfortunately, I know Nyxia has like a
Yeah.
little bit of health issues. Yeah, she's got like an autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
So she's like worried about coming to TwitchCon this year. So she's thinking maybe next year she
Yeah.
comes to TwitchCon. So that would be cool if she ended up coming out. Other than that, if she was like, "Yo, fly up here and come see me," I would love to fly up there with like Reef, and then like just do something, because or like maybe we can like plan a place to meet up or something, because it would be it is like just a special experience. To meet those like people you meet online and you become like best friends with, like meeting them online and then like sharing like a IRL experience with them is really special. So it's really cool.
I think you need to go up to Ontario, visit her. If you've never been to Canada, it's we got great food. There's great things to do outside. Are you serious?
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been all over the United States.
Yeah,
like New York, California, like Florida, everywhere. Like I've been all over the United States, but I've never ever left the country.
Wow. Well, you need to go to Canada and experience going to a convenience store and buying milk in a bag.
Milk in a bag?
Yes. It's like 1 liter plastic bags, and you drop in this little plastic container, and you got to cut the tip off it, and that's how we buy our milk in Canada.
Nice.
You need to ask her about that one time.
Okay. Yeah, I'll ask her. All right. I also know that a lot of you guys are ketchup addicts, so
yes, ketchup chips. But
are you a ketchup addict?
I like ketchup on my French fries, but it doesn't belong on eggs or macaroni and cheese. There's a line. There's a line that crosses it.
Nyxia is like, she's like, let me like squirt this freaking ketchup on my mac and cheese and my grilled cheese and stuff. So funny.
Nope. Now, mind you, I do enjoy gravy on my French fries, and that seems to be more of a Canadian thing. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So. That's what is that called? It's called it's on the tip of my tongue. It's with like cheese curds too.
Oh yeah, so that's poutine, where you get cheese curds and covered in gravy. And where I'm from in Eastern Canada, we have a thing called chips, dressing, and gravy. So we have French fries, then you have stuffing. And we have like a moist stuffing inside of a turkey. You put that on top of the French fries, and then you put gravy on top of that. And it's like, it's so not good for you, but it's so yummy.
It's not good for you, but it's good for you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Now, I also see you guys have something called D- Gaming. What is that?
Yeah. That's just like me, Reaper, and Nyxia's way to like support each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do community nights and stuff like that with the three of us.
Yeah.
And we call it like D- nights. And so like the whole thing is like we say it's like S tier content, D- gameplay, because we're not like exactly I actually think, memes aside, we're all pretty freaking good at the game.
Yeah.
We all slay out. But man, are we goofy and chaotic sometimes. And sometimes it's just like, it is just like a total shit show. Like there's this one clip of me, Nyxia, Reef, and Triangle Face 78 in labs. And there's 3 TKs in like 30 seconds. It is so funny.
Oh no.
Just like an absolute shit show.
Yeah. Oh man.
And so it's just our little group of me, Nyxia, and Reefer, and how we like it's just like a little, like our team, like we support each other.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. And then sometimes we do like community stuff with it.
Cool. All right. Now, what did you do before streaming? What was life before streaming for you?
Well, I waited tables for about 7 years, and I also bartended in that as well. So I was kind of like always very like, I guess my job was like to be very social with people, like, and I see a lot of similarities with streaming and serving tables, to be honest.
Yeah.
Only big difference to me is like the food, right? Mm-hmm. To me, it's like, at least like how I like to serve tables, like people would come in, I'd be like, hey, how are you doing? I like to like talk to people and like be social with them. And so I kind of like get that same vibe in streaming, honestly, where it's like I've got like people who come to my stream and I'm taking care of them.
Yeah.
And
just kind of like, I guess instead of food, it's like I'm serving,
content.
Tarkov content.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and like being that bartender that comes in, tell me your stories, give you advice, and that's a good way of putting it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I did also go to college for a little bit.
Yeah.
For 3D modeling and rendering. I wanted to do like 3D animation and art and stuff like that. But it's so funny. It's a very competitive field.
Yeah.
It's extremely competitive.
Yeah.
And so I was like, is this really what I want to do? It's like it doesn't pay that well, and it's like very competitive, and it's a lot of work. Now I'm a streamer, so which is way more competitive, way more work, and probably does not pay as good, to be honest. But hey, that's okay.
Yeah, you're having fun, and that you're doing something you enjoy, and that's probably the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So now, when did video games start for you? Early in life, or did you pick them up later?
I wouldn't say later per se, but I was like, I don't know. I would definitely say I started later than most people my age.
Yeah.
Because it was like whenever GameCube was out.
Yeah.
I remember I came home one day and my mom had bought us an N64, and so like this is like the golden era of GameCube with like Wind Waker, Kirby's Air Ride, Super Smash Brothers. Like the all these like amazing GameCube games were out like that everyone was playing, and then Xbox, PlayStation 2 was probably out, and then I was on the N64. That was my first console, and so I played that for a while, and then kind of like on and off like throughout the years, like played like a little bit of console gaming, and then I got into PC gaming probably in high school.
Yeah.
And I played Warcraft 3. And that game was like a lot of fun for me. And there's like these custom games. And basically one of the custom games is Dota. And I played Dota a lot. And I liked that game. And then Dota 2 came out. And then I probably played like 5,000 hours of that.
Wow.
Yeah. Up in through out of high school.
Yeah.
And then someone was like, yo, you should try this game called Pubg. And that was like the first time I got into FPS games.
Yeah.
So that was like, I was probably like 21, 22, I think, something like that. Wait, no, was it even that? It was probably like 23, I guess, something like that. So it took me a while to get to like shooters.
Yeah. Okay. And then over the years, what's been some of your favorite games that you've played?
I think I really enjoyed obviously I liked love hate. It's so funny. It's like I've got a love hate relationship with a lot of these games that I've played like thousands of hours on.
Yeah.
Like Dota. Love hate relationship. I've gotten to the point where it's like I played like that game for like thousands of hours, and I don't want to play it anymore. And then PUBG, the same thing. I played that game for thousands of hours, and now I'm like, I do not want to touch that game anymore. Like I have very fond memories of it, and it was like great, but I really don't want to touch that game anymore.
Yeah.
And now it's funny because now I have doubled the hours of both those games, those hours in both those games combined in Tarkov, and I still love Tarkov. So
that's good.
Tarkov's great. Yeah. I mean, Tarkov's amazing. Tarkov is probably my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
And I know it's such a love-hate relationship with a lot of people, and sometimes it's just a hate relationship.
Yeah.
Some people who stream this game hate playing it, But man, I don't know what it is. Tarkov just like hits all the boxes for me.
Yeah.
I like where the game is going. There is definitely, it's not perfect. There's issues with it that I hope get fixed.
Yeah.
But I'm optimistic about it. And it is quite a incredible game.
It's video game crack.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I really like DayZ as well, and I wish Tarkov had more DayZ aspects, honestly, but they're trying to work that way, but we'll see what happens. It's like it's all very interesting, and it's a process. So now, we'll see how that goes.
What was your path to Tarkov? How did you find the game, and what made you finally jump into it?
Okay, so that's actually a funny story. It's so funny how so for PUBG, here's the thing, Tarkov's so interwound, where it's it's so interesting. I feel like the community is so down to earth. I feel like whenever I play PUBG, I play PUBG and these very notable people in the PUBG community, they're very they're very very, 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 very picky choosy with who they play with.
Yeah.
And they were just I don't know, you kind of got this feeling that they were very high and mighty above everyone else.
Yeah. Very clicky.
Right. Yes, very clicky, very clicky. And then in the Tarkov community, I feel like it's the opposite. Everyone's very open, very welcoming. And I was actually in a PUBG streamer's chat, and there was this guy, you might know him. His name is Kiings.
Yeah.
And he was like, anyone want a 7-day trial code for Escape from Tarkov?
Yeah.
And I was like, sure, I'll take it. And it's so funny now. I've played with Kiings tons of times, and this guy was the guy who sent me a code. But I ended up getting a code through Kiings. And then I ended up I don't know. I went into a PUBG, another different PUBG streamer at the time, and I was talking about Tarkov, and then I had a buddy in there who was like, "Yo, I play Tarkov too. We should play, man." And he ended up chirping me, and it's just it's really cool that I feel like that's a pretty similar experience for a lot of people. It's people are very "Yo, let me help you, let me teach you, let me teach you, let me teach you how to play." The game is very community driven, which is cool. So basically just I ended up getting reached out. Well, not reached out, but Kiings was like, "Yo, here's a code."
That's
and then
crazy.
Someone was just like, "Yo, let me teach you. Let me teach you. Let me teach you." And so it's I don't know. I love the Tarkov community because it's very very community driven.
Yeah.
And very much let me help you with this. What do you think about this idea? What about this gun build? And so it's people are bouncing ideas off each other and learning from each other, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's funny. So Kiings was just on my pod a little while ago, and did you know he was a signed hip hop artist?
I did know that, actually.
Yeah, he played some of his stuff. It's good.
Yeah.
But you're so right about the Tarkov. It's you find somebody who's been playing the game. It's oh, let me show you the game, because they're excited. Because they've put all this time into it, and now they want to share it with somebody else, and it's a special game.
Yeah, it is cool, and there's no tutorial. There's no so new players come to my channel all the time, and I'm like, it's funny. They're like, "Any tips for a new player?" And I'm like, that is a incredibly broad question. But I try and help as much as I can. The first two things I always say is learn 2 maps at a time. Pick probably customs for your PMC, because it's got the highest density of low level players.
Yeah.
And then also it's got the level 1 quest, which actually is not true anymore. So I could probably mix that answer up a little bit. You don't have to get your scav kills on customs anymore as of this wipe. And then I say learn a second map for your scav, and then run those maps until you feel like you know them so well you don't have to run them with a map anymore. Which and then obviously I say pull up a map. Here's a link to the maps, and then also ammo is more important than your gun. Those are the things I like to say, because people, I think that's a big thing that tilts people when they play this game for the first time is they have a gun and they shoot someone 30 times and they're like, why didn't that guy die? And then they get frustrated. And, you know, no one should ever describe Tarkov as a bullet spongy game.
Yeah.
But if they don't understand how the ballistics work, they're definitely gonna, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So now let's switch over to streaming. So what made you go live for the first time?
What made me go live for the first time? Well, I was trying to stream Pubg. That's what I broke my world record thing in, was Pubg. Which I quickly switched to Tarkov after that, actually. But I was playing Pubg at the time, and I was like above average. I was like okay.
Yeah.
And I was like very new to FPS games, and I was watching people like, you know, Dr. Disrespect, Shroud, Choco Taco, play Pubg, Summit 1G. Like, I'm watching like all these big streamers, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm a people person. Like, I'm entertaining, you know. Like, I could do what they're doing, and I literally didn't even have a Twitch account. Like, I watched all these guys as a lurker.
Yeah.
I didn't have a Twitch account. I made a Twitch account like that day and started streaming.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I mean, this was like in 2018. I think is when I did this. And I was like, yeah, it was like, back then the thing is, if you almost like could go live and just stream a bunch and it could work.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot less competition for streaming. But you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But it even then it still didn't work for me. I had like 2 viewers for a while, which is fine, but like, you know, everyone's trying to grow.
Yep.
So yeah, I ended up like learning to like get into communities and stuff like that. And then, you know, made friends, and that was an awesome experience. So I think that's probably the coolest experience about Twitch, is just like meeting all the people and making all the friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what got me into streaming was I was just like, I want to entertain people, and I was like, I feel like my gameplay is good, or good enough at least, and I was like, I feel like people would be into me, like watching my streams and my gameplay and stuff. And also, you know, I wanted to record it and like make friends and stuff. Right. So I was like, this could be cool. This could be fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically it was Pubg that really got me into it.
Yeah. Oh, cool. And now what, you know, that experience of, you know, those first few people that come into your chat that you don't know, they're strangers. And now, you know, you turn on your bartender personality and just, you know, start, you know, talking to them and.
Yeah. Well, so I kind of have this so basically, I get a lot of this energy for like, I guess, like talking to people and stuff like that, from my mom, right? My mom is a very, 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 very social person.
Yeah.
And so I've always felt like kind of the same as her. She's never met a stranger in her life.
Yeah.
She walks in her room and she's like, "Oh my God, so nice to meet you." She's like hugs on people.
Yeah.
And so I've always like kind of felt like the same way, where it's like people give me energy.
Yeah.
You know how like some people are like introverts, right? And then there's extroverts, there's introverted extroverts, there's introverted extroverts, there's extroverted introvert, you know, so there's like all kinds of different people.
Yeah.
I feel like I get my energy from people.
Yeah.
So, you know, when people come in, it like that gets me excited. That, you know, obviously, you know, it's just like, yeah, I love talking to strangers and meeting people and learning about them. So that's like that's very cool for me. Where yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, you know, how's your day going? How's this? How's this? How's the, you know, this thing going? How's this thing you told me about last time? How's that? You know, how's everything going? So I very much enjoy talking to people and getting to know them, and you know, also like making sure that they feel like homey in my stream, and like like that they're having a good time, and yeah, I don't know. So
they're just not a viewer number; they're part of your community.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, for sure.
And now, over the years, what's been some of the hardest things about going live?
Hmm.
Because a lot of people think it's just go live, play my video game, and that's it. Which it's there's so much more
no,
to that.
There's more for sure. I would say that there have been points where I have like extremely doubted myself.
Yeah.
I would say probably the two most stressful points in my streaming career, they were very close together. So the first being my partner push, and I didn't ever put like partner push in my title or anything like that, and I've heard it actually. Twitch looks at that, so if you're ever getting close to partner, I'd recommend like at your Discord to say it on Twitter, but don't put it in your title because apparently Twitch looks at that, and so I just really wanted partner. I was averaging like 70 like 80 viewers at the time, so over the amount that you needed. And I was like, it's like I really want partner, I really want that check mark. I'd wanted it for so long. This was May of 2020, I think. I think it's May 30th of 2020 is when I got partner. And I just remember up to that point though, it was so stressful. It was so stressful. And I was like always like, I don't like to look at my viewer count ever. It's always off. In all of my years streaming, it has always been off. I always keep it off. But for that, I had it on. Right. And it's because it was really important. I was looking at it, and it's because we were so close. And I was on my third application. That was so stressful. I remember like, I was like, I'm not gonna get it, and like it stressed me out. It made my content on stream worse. Which in turn maybe made my viewers lower, and it's like that's really stressful. And then people would come in, and not everyone is like super Twitch savvy. And so they'd be like, "Did you get partner yet?" And like, I don't have a check mark yet, and I'm like, I would have to be like, "No, I'm not partner yet." And then it was actually a really cool moment. I was playing with Gentacles and Lupo. And I got the email while I was live.
Oh, no way.
Playing with both of them. Yeah, that was super cool. And that was like a really, really cool moment for me. But I will say that a lot of people, this was the next most stressful moment. It's after you get partner, right? Then you have to think, okay, well, what do I do now? Right. And then also, here's the thing that a lot of people don't expect that happens for most streamers who get partner, is your viewership goes down right after you get partner. It happens to almost everybody. And it doesn't happen to everybody, but it happens to almost everybody. And I remember it like really hurt my feelings whenever like when my viewership like kind of like went down after I got partner. And I was like, man, I was like, I guess like people just stuck around so I could get a check mark. Now they're gone.
You doubt yourself.
What had happened too was the time that I got it was like at the time that I got partner, viewership was just tanking on Twitch as well. Right. It was like COVID was lightening up just a little bit. It was summer was starting, and like viewership, was tanking on Twitch. So it was more coincidental as well, on top of me getting partner. And like it was like really bad, and I was like really sad about it, and it was showing on stream, and then my content was worse, and that really stressed me out. And a lot of people think, oh, once you get partner, you're set, you get like sponsors, and like you'll always have good viewership, and like, but there's more pressure, I think, after you get partner to make good content. Because
you've got the check mark. You've
got the check mark. Exactly. And then on top of that, that's the only reason for people to show up is because you're making good content, not because they're trying to help you get a check mark. Not because like, they're like, oh, I'm supporting a small streamer. It's like they show up because you're making good content.
Right.
And because they feel welcome there, they feel like there's a community there, like they're showing up for that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember I was like really stressed out about that. But and there was even points I was like, maybe I'll have to get a job. Maybe
Oh,
I'll have to quit streaming. But I kept pushing through,
yeah.
and it ended up working out for me. And right now my channel's doing really well,
Yeah.
so
Good.
that's awesome.
That is awesome.
And yeah, it's just it is stressful. And then coming also, I did kind of like have to come to realization as well that like I can't just play any game I want, right?
Yeah.
And also being on a schedule is really important for viewership. So important. Like even this week, I've been a little bit sporadic, and my
Yeah.
viewership has been down just a little bit.
Yeah.
But still really good, but definitely down just a little bit because I haven't been streaming my normal hours. I've been
Yeah.
streaming mornings and stuff, which has its like benefits as well. Um, like sometimes like taking a little bit less viewership to stream at different hours is good
Yeah.
to get followers in different time zones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is more like behind the scenes stress about the numbers once you're full time, because
Yeah.
it's like there's a point where it's like okay, this is my job, and you've got to make it work. And I'm very, very light about ever pressuring chat for like anything like
Yeah.
money wise. I don't have sub goals up. I don't have a sub goal on screen. I don't do anything like that typically. Sometimes I do like special stuff. But I don't like pressuring or anything for stuff like that. And everyone always tells me I should, and maybe I should, but yeah, I just always feels more natural for me for people are like, hey, I enjoy your content,
Right.
and then it's like if they feel so inclined where they want to like drop a Twitch Prime or drop some subs or some bits or whatever, it's like that's super appreciated.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but
that's who I give my subs to, is people who who aren't asking for it, or I'm doing a subathon. It's just like, hey, you know what? You're good. I enjoy. I just you just drop the sub, and that's But that leads me into the next thing I was going to ask you, is like you talked about seeing your numbers decline a little bit. I was just talking to Mr. Gibbon about this. He's going to TwitchCon. Initially, he was going to wind that into like a 3-week vacation or 2 extra weeks in there, but because he's riding a wave right now, he's adjusting that because of the whole you can't afford to take a vacation sometimes, or sick days or things like that. And like over here, that's tough for content creators.
Yeah, I got kind of a controversial opinion on this. But I don't know if taking these breaks really affects people's numbers as much as they think they do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's a pretty controversial opinion, but I think that I don't know. I've personally have seen people take like week breaks and then come back, and their viewership is great. Here's the thing: is if you're at a size where like, for example, I think Gibbon's a great example of this, and maybe I should tell him this because we were just Gibbon the other day.
Yeah.
But I really think that, I mean, if you have like standout content where people are coming to you for you, I think if you take, a week break or like, 5-6 days, something like that, I think people are going to come back. I don't think that is a detrimental amount of time. Now, maybe you can get in the territory of like 2 weeks, a month, maybe. And it's like that is like might hurt your numbers a little bit. But even then still, it's like, a good example of this is there are YouTube content creators who maybe stream on Twitch like once a month or something like that. And it's like they have massive followings. And I think that these, a lot of people, if like you have a pretty good like hold on your community and like, where they hang out on your Discord or they watch your TikTok content, or they're not consuming you on just Twitch, then, I think that they're sticking around for you. And I think people can take more breaks than they want to. I personally don't take a lot of breaks. Like, I mean, I just went, I just had like a mini vacation where I went and visited a few streamer friends in Austin, and that was like my first, more than one day off in like 6 months.
Yeah.
Right. But that's just because I freaking love streaming.
Right.
And but I think that if I, like I'm going to be taking 5 days off for TwitchCon.
Yeah.
And I think most viewers are also pretty understanding about TwitchCon as well. They're going to be like, oh, it's TwitchCon. And a lot of them will be there, and then I'll definitely, like I said, I'll be posting on like my Twitter or my my Discord, like keeping people updated, pictures and stuff like that. I think that people are pretty understanding about that, honestly.
And you can't just be a one platform content creator anymore. You've got to hit all the things. But I had the team on Pest, Veritas, and whatnot a while ago, and Pestily made a good point. Is like, be confident with your content. Don't worry about if you feel good about your content. Don't worry about collaborating with somebody else and them stealing your stuff or whatnot. You've got
absolutely.
You've got to have that confidence, and people will come and watch it. Just like you were saying with people take some time off. They like you. They're going to come back and watch you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and another thing with what Pestily is saying is that it's like when you're collaborating with someone, it should just be beneficial for both of you.
Yeah.
Right? You should never, that is such a toxic way to think.
Yeah.
Where there are people, streamers, who think like this, where they're like, I don't want to play with,
XYZ.
Streamers, XYZ, because they might take some of my viewership.
Right.
But the idea is that if I have viewership and you have viewership, like, this is the way that, me, Nyxia, and Reefy feel, is where it's like we play together.
Yep.
Maybe there's someone who likes all three of us playing together. Maybe there's someone who's like, oh my gosh, I love watching Jay, but man, who's this Reef guy? He's super funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he plays great music, blah, blah, blah. He's hilarious. He's goofy. Let me go check him out. And then maybe vice versa. There's someone from like Nyxia's stream and she comes, checks me out. And then, someone, and it's supposed to be like, I personally believe all three of us are phenomenal content creators. I love playing with those guys. I love making content with those guys. So it should only be beneficial for us to really like play together. And that's how I feel like you should see it. And you shouldn't be playing with anyone who you don't feel that way, honestly. I don't feel that way with every single creator, in a way where I'm like, not everyone's like makes like, you want to play with people who are like gonna vibe well with you,
right?
And like make that good content.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like if they're a good and that doesn't make them a bad content creator, by the way. Just because they like maybe me and them don't vibe together. Exactly. Just like being friends with anyone. It's like, just because me and someone don't mesh well together as friends doesn't mean they're not a cool person.
Right. Exactly.
But a lot of people think that too, where they're like, oh, if I'm gonna play with someone, I should try, especially if you're a smaller streamer. A lot of them go into like a bigger streamer, and they're like, oh, I should try and play with this guy because he's got a lot of viewers. It's like, well, maybe not. Maybe even someone who has like, if that person has 500 viewers, maybe even playing with someone who has 30 viewers might be better for you.
Right.
If you mesh well.
Yep.
And actually, I've heard a lot of people talk about this, and I did it when I was smaller, and it worked for me. So maybe this is great advice. And I heard it whenever I was smaller, and it worked really well for me. It was Choco Taco said, he said, don't try to play with really big streamers. He's like, play with streamers who are the same size as you. And if you make really good content, maybe they'll come watch you too. And then you play with people, you'll keep growing. You play with people who are a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And he was just saying he thinks, and he's not the only person I heard say this, but basically it's like viewership transfers better between like content creators who are similar size.
Yeah.
And I think that's so true, because if you look at Nyxia, Reefer, Sheaf, me, Arson,
Ash,
like
Wildes,
Ash,
Yvonne, or another,
yeah, Vaughn, Ames.
Yeah.
Whenever I met all those guys, we all had like 30 viewers.
Yeah.
And now we're all partner streamers who all average like over 100 viewers at least.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, those guys, yeah, it was like they were all small, and it's like we played together, and it's, I would like to think that now all of us are like kind of notable people in the community.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very interesting how I feel like that kind of group of people kind of almost like, grew and kind of blew up together.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I really do think that maybe playing with people who are like you mesh well with and maybe similar size works better for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely overall finding people you connect with over like genuine connections,
right,
I feel like are better over than like, oh, let me play with this person because it might be good for my channel.
Right. Yeah. What advice would you give to somebody who's hitting that go live button for the first time?
Well, I was talking about this on stream the other day, and it's funny. I was like, I feel like I do not have good advice for this, but a few people in my stream were like, that's the best advice I ever heard, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I just personally tell people if you've got 6 hours a day to stream, then you should probably be streaming 3 hours a day, and you should probably be using the other 3 to like coordinate content and make other content on other platforms.
Yeah.
Because streaming 10 hours a day isn't grinding. Not anymore. Not when I started streaming, and definitely not anymore, because there's no way to grow on Twitch. Now, if we're just talking about going live and having fun, then go live with some friends and have fun. But I do feel like most people who stream would like to see growth. I think we all did. And I think that there's some sort of like taboo about talking about like wanting to grow on Twitch.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's like, I think we would all like more viewership, right? It's like, obviously we'd all like to grow more. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And also wanting to like improve yourself as a content creator.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing. And so basically, getting on other platforms, TikTok is one, and you can grow really fast on that.
Yeah.
I think YouTube is king. YouTube is king. If you can get your feet on the ground on YouTube and make like either a niche or just very like well-made content on YouTube, there is an algorithm. If you make good content, people will find it because there's an actual algorithm, and that algorithm is really, really good. I mean, I've seen it on my YouTube recently. My YouTube is doing pretty decent right now. Not like the best it could be. I could definitely be putting more work into that. But like I recently went from like I had posted a few videos, and I think I posted 6 videos, and I've gone like up to like almost 1,600 subs. I was at like 600, now I'm at like 1,600. So it's just like sometimes just a few videos will like really, really like do your channel like a whole ton of favors. And if it gets picked up by the algorithm, awesome. Like I posted a video recently on YouTube, and it got like 60,000 views, and it's like, oh, that's awesome. And it's like I didn't do anything special. I didn't like it's just the algorithm picked it up. It was a good video, and it's like okay, awesome. And so now people see that video, and like they follow you, and they're like, okay, like how can I check out more of this content? And then hopefully they come over to Twitch, and I feel like there's a better crossover from YouTube as well. But yeah, there's no way to grow on Twitch. There's just no way. It's like there is no algorithm. There's nothing that's making people pick your channel. I do this all the time where I go on stream and then I pull up the Tarkov directory and then I scroll down and I scroll down and I scroll down and I scroll down, down. And I'm like, how is someone gonna find you?
Right. The discoverability. You just, it's not going to happen if you just, like you said, play on Twitch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you want to grow your stream, you have to grow elsewhere. And I'm sure people have heard that. TikTok's good for growing fast. I think YouTube is harder work, but YouTube is my personal advice. If you're actually serious about wanting to grow your channel, I think that YouTube is absolutely insane. Especially if you can do a little bit more than just a gameplay video.
Right.
If there's some sort of spin on it, like it could be anything. Like I was doing one where this video where I called it was basically it's like does the kit slap, where it's like is it a good kit, is it a bad kit, do I get kills with it or do I not get kills with it? Just a little tiny spin on
and
just a little tiny spin on exactly a little bit of effort. Or you could do like story videos like some people do.
Right.
And there's a big market for that too. So if they're maybe someone out there will hear this, and I think I almost started doing story videos, but it was like a little bit too time consuming for me. But there's a big market, I think, for story based videos, like movie based videos, almost like RTX does. There's not a lot of people who put a ton of effort into Tarkov videos like that. But I think that would do well.
Especially with the offline co-op mode, you can mock things up a lot easier with that too, if you want to go down that path. But I remember what I was going to ask you about. So, because you've played in a lot of other communities, and we're talking about, playing with people who have similar numbers with you, would that work if you were trying to do that in the PUBG or the Dota, or, the other communities? Or is that really just working Tarkov because it's a more mature, sort of people playing the game?
I think it works. I think the Tarkov community, I used to think that the PUBG community was tight. I used to think that the PUBG community was very very tight and you're really cool. And I mean, dude, the Tarkov community is just something else compared to them. The Tarkov community is just very tight. I mean, a lot of these people I would consider my best friends. On Twitch, I would consider these people some of the closest people to me in my entire life. I mean, it is crazy. It's a very welcoming, very open community, very helpful. I would say that definitely Tarkov is leagues and droves above PUBG, I think. And PUBG I considered pretty close, and it was cool because there was this community, and you'd get in matches with other streamers a lot, and you'd be like, oh, GG's to that guy, or oh, I see that guy's in my feed. But there's just something about Tarkov with the brainstorming and the community and the learning and the helping and the teaching. It really brings us all together. And I think that's really cool. So
it also helps, I think, too, that having the BSG be a part of that community and do a lot of things focused in the community. I think that adds into it.
I agree. BSG is so in their own Twitch community, it's crazy. They're a really big part of their own community, and that was a thing with PUBG, is we felt so disconnected from the devs, and it felt like they were so out of touch. And BSG is pretty amazing. They're not perfect, but they are definitely they love giving back to their community, and they love giving back to their streamers, and they feel like they owe their streamers a lot. And I do feel like we really do help put this game in a very good limelight. And I think that they're just great, and they've I mean, honestly changed my life. So I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about BSG and Nikita, and it really feels like on the podcast they really do love their game, which is awesome. So BSG is just so great.
It was
love them.
When I was talking to Sigma once, I asked her, or Veritas, I can't remember which one, but we were talking about if Nikita knew how much of an impact his one game has for all of the people who have made, they're making careers, streaming Tarkov, and it's it's such a cool concept. How many people have been positively affected because of this one man's vision of a game.
Yeah, that's really cool. I agree. And Yeah. Also, not just that, but I mean, like, it's not just that he is, made it to where I have, gotten a career.
Yeah.
I pay for the roof over my head
Yeah.
with, this game, but also like I was saying earlier, it's like I've met some of my closest friends.
Yeah.
I'm about to fly out to San Diego and meet my best friends in the entire world.
Yeah.
All out in San Diego, and that is insane.
Yeah.
That I met all these guys playing this video game that I started playing in 2019.
Yeah.
And it's just that's crazy.
Yeah, and it's so cool because like listening to the banter you have with who you play with, you could just tell your friendships are real. There's no faking going on. It's so cool.
Yeah, no, and I can tell you too, I've had a lot of like heart to hearts with a lot of these content creators off stream, and they're just like all really good people.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys are awesome, and I've had the opportunity to meet some of them already.
Yeah.
In person, like I was saying, I've met Reef. I've met a few people. I've met like Finest Six High, Crayson, Arson, Miss Trash. Like I've met a few of them like out like in Vegas, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Ames, I've driven out to see her a few times. Miss Dunk. I've
now, did you drive in the
guys.
car with Miss Dunk before she had her horn fixed or before she had a horn installed in her car?
I don't think so. I don't know about this actually.
Yeah, so she basically when she moved from Oklahoma to Texas, she shared this with me that her dad gave her a car, but it never had a horn. So she was driving around in a car that had no horn. And she had when she moved to Texas, she had to get the car inspected and she had to get a horn installed in her car.
That's funny.
I thought it was pretty funny.
I didn't know about that. No. This was like 2 weeks ago. I think I met Dunk for the first time, but I've been down to see Ames and her fiance Michael a few times, and Bearkey I've met as well. She also lives in Austin. It's kind of crazy these friendships, and then like the crazy thing too is like I've driven down to see them, but then also Ames flew out to Vegas with us too. But it's kind of crazy. Like you meet all these people online, and then you're just like, "Yo, you guys want to fly out to Vegas and meet up?" Like that's so sick, And it's like, I do think it's really cool too. I can't imagine telling like like high school or like middle school me that like, yo, you're gonna be like playing video games for a living, and you're gonna be like have like doing it with all your closest friends,
right?
And you're gonna get to like fly across the country and like meet them and hang out with them and stuff like that. Like that's crazy. I feel like
absolutely,
yeah. So I mean, this game has done so much for me. I mean, it like at this point, it's like Tarkov is like kind of my whole life, and in one way or another. And I don't know how long it's going to be just Tarkov, but I'm here for the ride, and I'm really excited for the things to come with it too.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question: is what is your what do you see from a transition standpoint? Do you start, because like you said, Tarkov can't be there forever. Do you slowly bring in some other games at the tail end of a night or something like that?
Well, here's my thought process on content creation and gaming, which is also a little controversial, but I love Tarkov, right? I love this game, and if I didn't like it, I tell people this all the time. They're like, "Are you gonna stop playing Tarkov? Or are you gonna play this game? I was like, "Listen, I like Tarkov. If I didn't like playing Tarkov, I'd play something else." Right, and so that's the honest truth. If there was something better out there, I'd be playing it. And if I didn't like Tarkov, I would not be playing it. And at the very least, I don't know what I would do if like Tarkov just went under tomorrow. I don't know what I would stream instead. But I don't think it's bad to work a game in like maybe have like a variety day once a week. And like play something else and just see how you like it and see how your stream likes it. And you know, because that's something that you got to think of as a full-time content creator. It's like, how's my stream going to do doing this?
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. But man, yeah, if you're not doing this full time, which not everyone is gonna, and I think that's okay. I think that's totally okay. It's like, yeah, and by all means, do not try and force it. Oh my goodness.
No,
if you get 100 subs, don't quit your job.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I don't know. You just got to kind of like, I think you just feel it out, and it's like you go with what you love, and if you like a game, and then you should be able to, you know, make good content for that game, and then you put all your effort into that, and you find a way. Like, you know, if tomorrow I was like, okay, I hate Tarkov, I'm gonna be a Valorant content creator tomorrow. I just hit the ground running, and I'd see what I could do with it, you know, and it's like I'm sure I would make it work somehow, some way, but it would definitely, it'd be a struggle at first. But I think, like you were saying, probably the best way to do it is small transitions, where it's like you dip your feet in, and then you know, you build it up, and then the idea too is you want people who originally watch you for Tarkov who are like, I don't think I want to watch Valorant. But maybe they watch it a little bit and they're like, hey, this is kind of cool. I kind of like this.
Maybe you do a brothers night. Let's do a crossover. Have your brother play Star Citizen with you or something like that, you know?
I actually have played Star Citizen a little bit, a few times.
Yeah.
And my viewership does do pretty good on that game as well.
Yeah.
But Star Citizen's not there yet for me.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the thing, is like, that's a game where it's like the viewership is good for me, but I don't know if it's like a game. Yeah, I'm like, do I want to play this game for 8 hours a day?
Yeah.
I don't think so. That game's going to be amazing someday.
Oh, absolutely.
But not yet. Not yet. There's a lot of Tarkov content creators who play that game, and it's
beautiful.
So much to it. It's beautiful. It's probably the prettiest game on the market right now. I mean, that game is incredible, but it has a little bit of a ways to go, I think. It needs more development. It needs more gameplay loops. But that game will be really incredible at some point. Like,
oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You looking forward to seeing what Arena brings to the table?
I feel like I've got a pretty good guess.
Yeah.
I think that they are going to very strategically release Arena and Streets at the same time.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I think that is their idea, because they want the game to double blow up.
Yeah.
Where it's like Arena comes out and it's really good for the game, and then Arena is going to be a whole different crowd. We're going to have people who have been playing Valorant, CS:GO, Rainbow Six Siege, who are going to come try Arena, and that's going to be really interesting. And hopefully it's good.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's really good. And hopefully it like really impresses. Not the Tarkov pool, I think, is going to play it no matter what.
Right.
We need it to be good enough to impress other people from other communities, where they're like, okay, this is awesome. I want to come play more of this. Oh, this is so great. I love this game. Oh, what else does this game have to offer? Oh, I can play this game in like a instance-based survival mode. Like, let me try that too. And so I think that they are going to try and release Streets and that at the same time, to really try and like hook people into the game. But hopefully it's good.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for Arena. It's going to be different.
Oh, totally.
It will be a nice like mix up. But I'll tell you, I can't see myself liking Arena more than I like the instance-based open world aspect of Tarkov, because a big thing is I really enjoy mid-range fighting quite a bit, and I love going into resort and like CQC fighting, like gunning everyone down. And I also I love like a mix-up. You know, I love busting out the new Lapua multi, the AXMC, and sniping people with that. That is so satisfying. And you just aren't going to get that in Arena, I don't think. No. So that'll be interesting. It'll be a good mix-up. It'll be a good warm-up. It'll be a good, like, if we're getting like absolutely dumpster in regular Tarkov, we can try Arena. like it'll be a good variety.
Yeah.
I think. But we're also a long way off from that, because I like to remind people, while Arena is coming out soon, we're not going to be able to stream it for a while, because it's going to be on the the test servers for a while. So we're a little bit off from that, but honestly, that'll be really cool to just game off stream with some people.
Yep.
And play that.
Yep.
But well, man, hopefully it's only good things for the game, because I really do want to see this game succeed and do well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, so now with this patch, it just seems like it's leveling off or plateauing right now with a lot of the,
plateauing, I think, is generous. I think it's a little bit of a downward angle right now.
Okay, I wanted to say that, but I just wanted to be on the generous side. But yeah, it's like, are we going to start seeing, a lot of the content creators jumping to the Star Citizens again, or Among Us or whatnot?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think no matter what, that's going to happen about this point in the wipe.
Because we're 3 months away at least from a wipe at this point. It just seems like we've hit this.
I'd say 4.
Yeah.
I'd say 4, personally.
We hit this point sooner than I think, we were hoping we would hit this point.
Well, personally, I think this is maybe a little worse than last wipe.
Yeah.
But I think it's about the same. And the issue is, I think at this point in the last wipe, we had already gotten an event.
Yeah.
And we have no event yet. We have no new content yet. No new update, nothing, right?
Yeah.
So in our content at the beginning of the wipe was not a lot. It was the new Lighthouse expansion, a few new guns. It was a pretty small content update.
Yeah. Offline co-op play, and just nothing significant. You have the three goons, which Mr. Gibbons told me that you are the Goon Whisperer.
It is true. I am the Goon Whisperer. I don't know what it is. People are like, I haven't seen them in 600 raids, and I'll fight them.
Yeah.
Literally, when I found them with Gibbon, we fought them 7 times that. Or I'm sorry, it was with a different group of people as well, but I fought them 7 times in one day. Yeah. That was crazy.
He said you guys did a raid where it was 4 back-to-back, 3 on Lighthouse and 1 on Customs, and it was just like, it was amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy how much I run into them. I don't know if it's like the special goon cologne or something, but I run into them so much.
Yeah.
And I would like to think I'm like kind of a pretty knowledgeable about fighting them.
Yeah.
I mean, the goons are awesome. They're awesome. It's just like they're so rare for most people that they're just like such like,
it's
for
a pucker
example,
factor. As soon as it's like, oh my god, it's there.
Oh yeah. Totally. Which is why, as dumb as it sounds to some people, I think it's really smart. I fought them probably 25 times offline on each map before I fought them on live servers.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, when I run into them, I want to know exactly how to fight them.
Yeah.
And exactly how to approach it.
Yeah.
And then, I've helped 10 people get the goons so far.
Crap.
So it's like, it's just, it's like, when you run into them for that first time, because it's really rare for some people. It's like when you run into them for that first time, you want to know, like, as far as bosses go, I probably fought them more than any other boss. This wipe, like, I probably fought them like on live servers, probably like 25, 30 times, and like, I'm trying to think, like Sturman, I probably fought the second most at like 10 or 11 or 12, 13 times maybe between both my resets. Something like that, and I play a lot of woods. But I've also done a lot of goon hunting, like a lot of like streams where I'm just like, all right, I'm helping this person get the goons today. So but so they're great, but we need more content, I think.
Absolutely.
And if we're not going to get more content, the game needs to run well. And like I said, I love this game, but I'm not trying to hide the fact that the desync is horrendous, that there is, unfortunately, and I hate calling cheats on people. You won't see it a lot from me in my stream. Even if I think something is sus, I'll typically shut my mouth. But I think that there is, for whatever reason, it's strange with all the RMT restrictions. It feels like there's more cheaters this wipe than normal. And I would say I'm even someone who this wipe has run into less than I've seen others run into.
Yeah.
But I'm still like, I feel like I'm running into like a decent amount, which is like frustrating.
Well, it's the worst thing about this is the worst thing about the game, because you put so much effort into your kit, surviving, and nothing takes the wind out of your sails more than that suspicious death.
True. But the unfortunate thing is that sometimes between desync and cheats, you can't really tell which one it is.
Yeah.
And like even I the other day, I died to a guy, and at first I was like, I think this guy's cheating. And then I watched back my death and the other deaths of the other teammates, and all three of us just like died behind a wall. And I'm like, was he cheating? Like we all got like one tapped.
Yeah.
But I'm like, was he cheating or was it just desync? And then I've also heard that like whenever someone is cheating, basically it's like it adds an extra step as far as like the network goes, where it's like it's like computer, I forget how it, there's like three processes. It's like computer, and then like you've got to hit like your IP, and then you hit the server, and then back to the server, and then back to your computer. But the people's cheats add an extra step there, so they can also can feel like they're more laggy when you run into someone who's cheating, which is weird. So I'm like wondering, is that part of it? So like maybe I don't know. But I try to give everyone benefit of the doubt as well, because sometimes I hit just like a crazy shot. But it feels like, it just feels like everything that can be bad about this wipe is like a little bit worse. Audio is a little bit worse.
Mm-hmm.
Loot is hard to find for whatever reason. It's just like most people are like broke, it's harder to make money this wipe. It is like the audio is like tough.
Well, and also, the audio is a good point. Them coming out and saying they're going to redo the audio. It's like, it just feels like more steps backwards.
Well, it's actually a big step in the right direction, I think, because audio has been getting increasingly worse and increasingly worse and increasingly worse throughout since
Steam.
Like they initially, Well, Steam audio came out, and then they're like, here's Steam audio. And it was good for like 2 months. And they were like, okay, we've got to roll back all this stuff, because if you didn't know this, it was taking up basically binaural audio like takes a bit of CPU, and it was doing it for people who didn't have binaural enabled, right?
Yeah.
So it was causing performance issues for people who didn't even have binaural on, and they didn't even have the option to turn it off. So they were like, okay, let's take it out. And then they re-added it, and it was worse. And then it was just like downhill from there.
Yeah.
So, ever since then. So I'm glad that they're looking for like a different audio engine.
Yeah.
Honestly, because it's like at least instead of like trying to force binaural, they're working on something else.
Yeah.
Because it has been bad, I think, and that's frustrating. Where it's like, I died to a silent nade yesterday, and it's like, man, nothing is worse than like just dying to someone who like you didn't hear, or like there's an issue where like you'll run up on someone and you don't hear them until you have line of sight on them.
Yeah.
That is an issue. Man, it's just painful audio issues, and we hate that. But and then it's like desync is bad, and the servers perform bad, and like it's just a lot of things are like bad with the game right now. So it's like not only was there no content, it's like everything in the game is not performing the way it should.
Right. Yep.
So it's a tough point right now. It's a tough point. It's very tough.
But it's still our favorite game. And that being said, what check boxes does Tarkov tick for you?
What does it tick for me? I think that it is a game that is this one doesn't matter too much, but it is fucking gorgeous. I love this game because it's so pretty. It looks good. It sounds good as far as like not like the audio, but like
the guns,
the audio. Yeah, the guns, the ambient noise. Like it sounds awesome.
Yeah,
it looks awesome. It feels awesome. It's very immersive. The map design's very cool. It's a very like it's a very like explorable place all the time. There's things I find in the maps that I'm like, like I was talking about how in front of New Gas on Customs, there's a sign that says 1 + 1 = 3.
Yeah.
And I was like, Ames, have you ever seen this sign before? And it's just like funny. The maps are very cool and very explorable. And like, there's like lots of like little details. I think that's great. So very replayable maps and very diverse fights.
Yes.
And yeah, it's like every time you get into a raid, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
I think, they've made stuff like looting. Looting is enjoyable, like, I think that daily quests were a very good addition to the game where it's like gives you something to do. I don't know. The PvP is fun. The PvP is satisfying.
Yeah.
The guns feel good to shoot. There's a lot of games like Star Citizen's a good example where you shoot a gun and you're like, this feels so airy and floaty.
Right.
And some people would argue that's how it's supposed to feel for Star Citizen, but like the gun should feel good to shoot. It's like the gun should feel good to shoot. And I can't think of a gun that doesn't feel like it has weight in Tarkov. Like they feel like they're heavy. They feel like they've got weight to them. They feel good. The only thing that this game doesn't scratch for me, also VoIP. I love VoIP and I love the VoIP interactions.
Yep.
That's a lot of fun. And then the one thing that I wish this game had was just, I wish it was an open world game.
Yeah.
And if this game, it was like the graphics, the gunplay, the mechanics, the survival aspects, all that, but on an open world map like DayZ, I don't think I'd ever play another game.
Oh, yeah.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, I just started recently playing DayZ, and there's like, oh my god, I'm like playing. It's like, oh my god, if Tarkov had the gun mechanics and whatnot, it was like, like you just said. But like, this game gives you so many unique experiences. You could have, like you were saying, a 20-minute cat and mouse with one-on-one guy you're just outmaneuvering on the map. It's it's just the pucker moments. A 4-man running by you in interchange while you're just waiting for them to go by. It's just it's crazy.
Yeah, no, definitely this game gets the adrenaline going. And I love that too, that there is actually an opportunity for, I think it's really cool that this game has benefits to being solo or it has benefits to being squad. And actually, I think it's even detrimental to be a 5-man.
Oh, yes.
I think that there is a lot of downsides to being a 5-man on Escape from Tarkov.
Yeah.
So I think that that's really cool that it's almost like beneficial to be a solo in some ways. And some people say being solo is scary, and I agree with them in some ways. And I was scared to play solo at first as well. But huge benefits are whenever you make rotations, you can go right away. You can make the rotations on your own time.
Yeah.
And then also, if you hear a sound, that is death.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
You don't have to worry. Hey, is that you? Hey, is that you? Are you over here?
Yeah.
I think that probably the most powerful thing in Tarkov is being like a well-oiled duo who is just like on point with your comms and your rotations, and you trust each other and you trust your pushes and you trust that they hold and they're going to win their 1v1s most of the time.
Yeah.
That I think is like the strongest, but man, solo play is a lot of fun and it's very rewarding. And I like that I have the opportunity like to be able to take like a 1v5 or a 1v4 if I need to. And also, man, Tarkov has this really cool thing where like you can take a 1v5 in Valorant, for example, right? But it's like you're just 1v5ing. I get this amazing experience in Tarkov where, like, for example, I was in Factory the other day, and this I see a 4-man run up into the office. Yeah. And I walk up this hallway, and this guy looks right at me, and then he turns around, and I'm like, okay. And so I just keep walking, and I walk in the office, and there's 3 guys looting a body that I killed. Right? It's a PMC I killed, and I'm just looking at these guys, and then I just unload on all of them. But it's just like funny because it's like you really don't get that with any other game, right?
Nope.
It's like the espionage, of being able to like sneak into like a 5-man when you're a solo is so fucking funny.
And you would love to hear the comms. Hey, who's that? Oh, okay, that's you, Bob. Yep. no, where are you? And then this game, no other game shows how bad we are at communicating or not communicating.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. There's a huge skill gap. I mean, even when I'm playing 5-mans with people who all have like 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 plus hours, it gets tricky. It gets tricky.
Yeah.
I was playing 5-mans yesterday for like 2 raids. I was doing with Miss Dunk, and then it's funny, we were in the lobby and Ames sent us an invite to her party.
Yeah.
And we ended up running like 2 5-mans on Shoreline.
Yeah.
And the comms were like actually pretty good. But I mean, gosh dang, it's like the key to running good 5-man comms is everyone needs to know when to shut up.
Yes.
You know? Like honestly, it's like, yeah, man, I do not enjoy 5-mans though.
No.
They are stressful to me. A lot of people are like, oh man, I hate running to 5-mans. I'm like, man, dude, I don't know how people run 5-mans.
I
like
know.
that's stressful, more stressful than solos to me. Like I'll run solos all day.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
Man, that is stressful.
Yeah. So, out of all the quests, what are your most dreaded quests? When you get it from the trader, it's like, oh God, that quest, I forgot about that one.
That is, that's tough. There's one that I hate to do late wipe is setup.
Yeah.
I hate doing setup late wipe. For obvious reasons. It's like the most of the time you want to do setup with AP20s.
Yeah.
That's like typically the go-to round, which you can't do that anymore. You can't do setup with AP20s really anymore unless you craft them.
Right.
If you craft them, you're good to go. But
yeah.
But you have to finish setup before you unlock AP20s now. So it's like doing that one late wipe is such a pain in the ass because fighting people with class 5 armors with a shotgun is not my favorite.
Yeah.
So I've always kind of like struggled with that one late wipe. And I typically always reset my account at least once. Which I painstakingly have done this wipe already. After I got my 22-day Kappa, I reset my account.
You got 20 you had Kappa in 22 days?
I got Kappa at 22 days. I was level 59 when I reset.
Wow.
And now I'm level 51.
Jeepers.
But yeah, I'll tell you what, some of the quests I love doing.
Yeah.
What is a quest that I hate doing though? Setup is like definitely one, and then capturing outposts has obviously just been the that quest is just like, I was talking to Jesse Kazam about this, and it's like the thing about it's like Shooterborn in Heaven, I think proves that you can consistently hit shots from a distance and like, or rotating on people to get 125 meters away. The guide proves that you can play the map in a way where you can survive, right?
Yeah.
You can play in a way where it's like you can avoid people and survive, right? Like, I think that there's so many quests that prove merit. Like even setup's like, okay, you can prove that you can go into this map and you can get shotgun kills,
right.
Or Shooter Part 8, you can get 3 bolt action kills in one raid.
Yeah.
I think that is very challenging. That's a lot of people's least favorite quest. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I love that quest. But capturing outpost has 0 merit to it. It does not prove that you can do anything except for camp low-level people who are doing low-level quests on the pier and sit in the corner. That is like, there's no merit to that quest.
Yeah.
So I hate that one.
The cultist one is tough because of just how infrequent they show up. For me, anyway.
Yeah. Well, as of this wipe, the highest spawn rate they've been, I think, is 5%, which is pretty freaking low.
Yeah.
They may have raised that recently to like 7%.
Yeah.
But man, you were not alone on the cultist quest. I think I've finished that one pretty late in the wipe every time.
Yeah.
The thing about that is I mean, that one's not required for Kappa though, so I don't worry too much about that one. Is there any other quest that I like really dread?
Now on the wipe so far you've done the resets, have you gotten to the 3-level slot for market trader for your market?
I did on my
That's tough, man.
I did. That is tough. I did on my first reset before I reset my account. Now I did, and that was really sad. That really sad.
That's tough to get.
Reset, but it is tough to get. It is tough to get for sure. For sure, it's 150 million rubles that you have to do on the flea.
Yep.
And I was sitting pretty comfortable. Like I was at like 25 mil. I just bought my like 6 mil jacket, my 6 mil pants. You know, I had a violet card, yellow card, which yellow is very rare this wipe. You know, Red Rebel. I was like all set on my account. I was like feeling very good. And well, then shit happens. Yeah.
Now, what made you reset it? What made you reset the account? Just boredom, or?
Well, someone came in my chat and they were like, "Hey, will you reset your account for $4,000?"
What? Oh my god!
And so it was a really hard decision, and everyone in my chat was like, hold out for more, hold out for more. Never accept the first offer, hold out. And I was like sweating, dude. I was like,
oh my god.
And I was like, it was a tough decision for me because I was like thinking about my YouTube content. I was like, do I want to sacrifice my YouTube content? Which I did definitely slow down after my reset because it's like I put more time. Because basically I got my Kappa and then I pumped out like 5 YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And it was like I was very focused on my YouTube content. And so now that I'm back on the grinding for my Kappa again, it's like I've slowed that down a lot, which I hate. So yeah, it definitely slowed me down. So that was like a real concern. And then I was like, do I want to reset this? Do I want to do the low level tasks again?
Yeah.
Like, is this going to be good content?
Right.
And so it's like, I want to think about all that, and it's like, not just that there's like thousands of dollars sitting in front of me. But I was like, do I want to do this? And what I ended up holding out for was the original donor who offered $4,000.
Yeah.
He gave me 4,500, and then another guy in chat gave me $502, so that I got one more dollar than Velion to reset.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Oh,
yes.
geez.
That was the idea. Is I got one more dollar than Velion, which was more than fair because Velion was like level 47 when you reset, and I was level 59. So like I definitely, I feel like holding out for at least as much as him was probably the play.
Yeah. Oh my lord.
My gosh, dude. But yeah, it was like, I remember I logged on for the day. I had games with Von Helsing in Amethyst that night. And I was like, I called Ames and I was like, hey, I got offered $5,000 to reset my account. Do I do it? And she was like, oh, she's like, normally I would say no, but she was like, you're going to be so fast back to Kappa that, she's like, she was like, I'd just do it if I were you.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Oh my god.
Like, okay, I'll do it. And and then I reset immediately after that. I was like, just you're gonna be playing with a level 1 Timmy tonight. And she was like, okay. So it was an adventure.
Yep,
yeah,
absolutely. So we know who you roll with most of the time. Ames and Nyxia and Reef, and so who else? Anybody else that you like to roll with?
Man, I play with so many people. I like have this just, I'm so lucky. I have this like plethora of friends that I get to play with. Man, Jesse Kazam, Desmond Pillak, if you know him. Blueberry Gabby, Vibin. I get to play with so many content creators. It's crazy. I really like playing with. I've got a friend Crayson, and another friend Finest XI, who I used to play with them weekly, but I don't play with them so much anymore. But mostly because I've been streaming more in the evenings.
Yeah.
But Hodzi is another one who I love playing with.
Yeah.
I love playing with Mr. Gibbon. I've been playing with him a lot lately, and that's been really fun. Hodzi is one of like my OG friends on Tarkov.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I actually got a founder badge in her channel.
Oh shit.
And she's one of my OG friends on EFT. Love playing with her. I've known her. I'm like a 28-month sub in her channel,
wow.
I think, something like that.
Yeah.
So I've known her forever, and
she's another fine Canadian content creator.
She is.
Yes.
She is. She is. She's awesome.
Yeah.
And who else, man? There's so many people I love playing with.
We have a great community. It's just hands down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, like I'm so lucky to just like have all the friends that I do.
Yeah.
Have the people I do in my channel and my community for sure.
Who haven't you played with that you like? So all right, let's do this. You get to pick an all-star squad. Past OGs, current people. Who are the other 4 people you would like to, call their names? They're going to run a 5-man with you.
Run a 5-man with like
4 others. Your dream, not so much a dream, but maybe who you haven't played with. You just like to, be a fun raid or 2.
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough. That's really tough. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't think that I mean, like, obviously it'd be cool to run like, a game with like Pesley, for example, right? That'd be cool to like play with like, Pesley, who I feel like he is like, the godfather of Tarkov, right?
Yeah.
Like we've all learned from him.
Oh, absolutely.
It'd be really cool to play with him. But as far as like my dream team goes, like I really can't say that there isn't like, it's like my favorite people to play with, the people who I look forward the most to playing with are definitely like the people I've already played with.
Yeah.
Like if I was gonna put like man, that's so tough.
Because you don't want to leave anybody out.
I don't want to leave anybody out.
Right.
Yes. I mean, like, definitely not to steal Nyxia's answer, but like if I'm gonna pick like a night to have like fun with, who are like my favorite people to play with, I'm definitely gonna pick Nyxia and Reef.
Yeah.
For sure. They're like my comfort friends, my go-to streamers to play with. I actually played with them just last night, and I mean they're just like so much fun every time. It's goofy.
Yeah.
And, I mean, like we are just like even when we're dying, we're laughing and just like having a great time. I mean, those guys are amazing.
Yeah. I don't know Reef, but Nyxia is just such a wonderful person. He's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Reef is very interesting. Let me tell you a story about Reef.
All right.
And my Gingy keychain that I need to get. Right. So I'm playing with Arson. Do you know Arson?
No, I just know the streamer.
Yeah. You know of him. You know him. Okay. So I'm playing with Arson and Reef. It's Arson's birthday, right? And we've been drinking a little bit because it's Arson's birthday. We're celebrating. It's his 30th birthday.
Yeah.
Just a few days ago, on Monday, and I'm like, we're talking. He's talking about how he's like, Arson's like, I don't really like bacon unless it's for breakfast, right? I don't really like bacon unless it's for breakfast. And Reefer took great offense to this. And he said, you know what, Jay? We've got to run at Arson and melee him to death. That's what we got to do right now. Pull out your melee. We're charging him. We're charging him. We're going after him, right? And I'm like, what a funny joke that we're about to do. What a funny joke that, we're joking about this, right? And so I'm running at him with my Taiga, and Reef absolutely cuts this man down. And he's stabbing his body, and he says, bacon gang, bacon gang, bacon gang. Like, I'm taken back. I'm like, honestly, if it wasn't Arson's birthday, I would have just rolled with it. Yeah. But I was like, it's Arson's birthday, and I just immediately kill Reef, right?
Oh my
just like
God.
Immediately. So I hatchet him. So funny. And I'm running past dorms, and someone's like, yo, what if the Gingy keychain is inside? Which is my last Kappa item.
Yeah.
And I go into dorms. And these two are screaming at each other about how they're queuing into Shoreline to 1v1. And I find the keychain inside. It was so funny.
Oh,
and
my God.
I find the keychain inside, and I ended up dying with it on my way to Extracts. I got 2 tapped in the... Oh, man, it was so funny.
Oh, God.
But, yeah, it's just like... Just goofy stuff like that happens, I feel like, with Reef. He's just like... He's just like an absolute goofball. And, like, he's always doing stuff like... I'm like, hey, is that you? And then he just in VoIP, and he's like, he's looking for the Dan excerpt key right now. It's his last item for Kappa.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that you? Is that you? Like running in, and you just hear him VoIPing, jacket, 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 because he's just searching jackets.
Right.
Jacket,
Yeah.
jacket, jacket. He's just a massive goofball and a really good time and a great dude, and very fun to be around.
I love those stories.
Man, or like, okay, so here's another thing really quick. We're running reserve and we're running towards extract, and he has an SVD, right?
Yeah.
He has an SVD, and I'm running 2D2, right? And all of a sudden I just hear an SVD fire off a bunch of times, like ba 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 ba. And I'm like, Reefer, is that you? Complete silence.
Yeah.
And then he says, yeah, that's me. And then I'm like, okay. And then I run into this doorway, right?
Yeah.
And I run up to this hallway that's just before D2 from that big wooden room, if you know the one I'm talking about.
Yep.
I run up those stairs, I run in the hallway, and there's a guy prone in the hallway that kills me. And at first I think it's Reefer and he just TK'd me. But no, it's not Reefer. It's actually a guy who just killed Reefer, took his SVD, and then killed me with his SVD.
Oh, man.
And he's like, basically, he's too busy freaking out that he just died to this guy, and he doesn't like comment. Dude, it's just classic Reef chaos. So,
oh god,
it's just so funny.
That
like,
is awesome.
Like, he's such like a wild card, honestly. But I mean, I love playing with him.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, he's great.
Hey, are we going to see any more cosplay from you? You know, maybe out at TwitchCon? Tequila's going to show up?
Not at TwitchCon, probably. Maybe something for Halloween.
Yeah.
I was thinking about maybe doing like the other mask for Tequila.
Yeah.
Or possibly maybe something with Bird Eye, maybe.
Yeah. So wait and see.
I feel like, what's up?
So we'll wait and see.
We'll wait and see. I mean, I still have this guy from.
That is very.
I still have this lying around from whenever I did the Tequila cosplay, but yeah, I might do the gorilla mask instead this time.
Okay. Yep.
So I think that'd be cool if I did that again, but I'm just not totally sure yet.
Yeah.
Probably not at TwitchCon, but maybe for like a Halloween stream or something like that.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure, but cosplaying some of the bosses is like tough. Like there's like Contempt of Court.
Yep.
Does some of the cosplays, and she's awesome.
Oh yeah.
But I can't imagine putting that much work into like the night cosplay that like she did.
Right.
That is that's a lot of work, but I mean, props to her. That's awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I just feel like so busy. It's like if it's not one thing, it's another thing.
Yep.
So I feel so busy. It's like where do I find the time to like make stuff like that?
Absolutely.
Like she did.
Yeah, that's high level stuff she did. Holy cow.
Oh yeah, her stuff is awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's great. So, and then and it's like just finding the stuff if I'm gonna do it. How do I make it? How do I put it together?
Yep.
It's like a big time investment. And it's like if I do it, I want it to look good.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's all a little bit. It's a lot of work.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, maybe it's definitely not. It's something I want to do. It's just like if I do it, like how do I do it? When do I do it?
When you do it is more the
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's especially with I got a trip coming up at the end of the month to Austin, and then TwitchCon right after that, and then I'm going out of town right after that. So like a lot of stuff coming up at the beginning of October. So I'm like, where do I slip that in?
Right.
If I'm gonna do it, but I would like to.
That'd be cool. Cool to see what you can come up with. So now,
it'll be cool indeed.
Now, when you sign off for the day, what's life outside like? If there's any time outside, because
that's a good question. Yeah, I mean mostly like streaming takes up like I feel like my whole life really.
Yeah.
Not to bring it back up, but I'm single. So I don't like I don't spend any time wasting any time on that. But I mean I am either like streaming or I'm in streams or I'm like working on something behind the scenes for like YouTube or something. It's like streaming takes up like so much of my life. Definitely. I've been trying definitely to touch a little bit more grass lately. Because the weather's nice and everything. So like not last weekend, but the weekend before that, I went down to Austin and I saw Ames and a few other people.
Yeah.
That was really cool. That was really, really cool. I really enjoyed that quite a bit.
Yeah.
And
any hobbies outside of, being a content creator? Sports or anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, I really love going to concerts quite a bit.
Yeah.
I used to, whenever I waited tables, that's all I would do is wait tables and go to concerts. I've been to a lot of concerts. A lot of concerts.
What concert would you say is your favorite? Your best concert you've ever seen?
Best concert I ever went to was probably Black Keys, Cage the Elephant at I believe it was the House of Blues in Dallas.
Yeah.
That was so good. That was so good. Then also I went to ACL in 2018, I think was the last one I went to. And that one was pretty incredible.
Yeah. Who's underappreciated from their live performance, do you think, that you've seen?
I don't know about underappreciated, but
or who are you impressed by? Like I'm going to see XYZ and wow, I did not expect that good of a show from them.
So I will say that from like my high school days, I've always been like a big Panic at the Disco fan.
Yeah.
And they make very like, whenever I first started listening to him, it's very like almost like kind of like it's like poppy, kind of angsty music.
Yeah.
Maybe like kind of alternative a little bit. But man, dude, Brendan Urie is probably one of the best singers of our generation. He does a live cover of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
And that is incredible.
Oh, wow.
So he's a very talented singer. And they do like a few other live covers of some classic music that is like really incredible.
Oh,
cool. Also I really liked they did a live cover of Benny and the Jets.
Yeah.
And yeah, just yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's an incredible singer. So that's probably something I think that is like a little bit of like if we're thinking of like oh, you wouldn't expect that. It's like cool. He is an incredible singer. And then Paramore has an incredible live performance. They've got like just amazing stage presence. Like it's like it truly is not just like they go up and they play music.
Yeah.
It's like they put on like a performance. They've got really good stage presence. They got really good connection with the audience.
That's cool.
Amazing energy. Cage the Elephant too. Cage the Elephant, whenever I saw them live for the first time, I think it was at an ACL in 2016. I remember they come out and they start playing this very rowdy song called In One Ear, if you know that one by chance. No. It was pretty popular on the radio for a little bit, but it's a super rowdy song, very rowdy song. And I mean, the first 30 seconds, lead singer comes out, rips off his shirt. He's in the crowd. He dives out on the stage. I mean, they've got so much energy. So that was like really cool. But Black Keys was also really incredible. Arctic Monkeys was really incredible.
Yeah.
Man, there's just like a lot of really good live music out there. The first concert I ever went to was actually Motley Crue, their 30th anniversary tour. Yeah, that was the first concert I ever went to. That was really good. And the drummer, he was like on this like roller coaster thing. It was like a circle roller coaster, and it spun around. That was really cool. That was the first concert I ever went to. I was like 15 or 16, I think.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty young.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of concerts. And it's just live music. Live music's really cool. So I would say that's sort of a hobby of mine. I used to be big into art, like I was saying. I used to go to school for that.
Yeah.
That was cool. Man, I would say these days it's like content creation takes up so much of my time. It's just like a big focus. If anything, at this point, I like trying to take breaks.
Yep.
I've been trying to take more breaks because I think taking breaks makes me make better content.
Yeah.
Right.
And refresh your batteries and just, like a clearer head.
Totally. Definitely. And yeah, it's really good for me to, I think, get out and like see people and stuff. Like driving down to Austin's like perfect for me to go see friends because like I was saying earlier, just from streaming, I get my energy from people. So that's why I like to be live so much.
Yeah.
I think Ames is the same way too. She's addicted to streaming.
Yeah.
She's like, hey guys, I'm taking today off. So anyway, I'll be live at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. But
now has she tried to hook you up yet? Like, to fix this single issue you have? Just watch out because you never know. Next thing you know, show up is like, oh yeah, hey Jay, meet blah blah blah.
Ames, I would consider she's probably like one of my best friends.
Yeah.
I'm very close to her. And we've definitely talked about it for sure. She hasn't per se been like, yo, here's my friend,
Yeah.
We've definitely talked about it.
Because that's missing now from, when you go down to see her and Michael, there's Jay. Well, Jay needs somebody. So,
That's true. I mean, Michael's awesome too. Like I love going down there to see both of them actually.
Yeah.
Michael is hilarious and he's very fun and that it is definitely like I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah.
I would say like right now at this point in time, it's like I'm probably the happiest I've ever been.
Good for you.
I've got all these amazing friends. I'm surrounded by great people. My career is going well. If a girl comes along that, also, I could definitely like, and I've, and not to get into it too much, but like, I definitely could be dating someone if I wanted to, but like,
the career now, it's
not even that. I'm just like very particular as well.
Yeah.
I'm very, very particular about like what, it's like if I'm going to meet a girl, it's like, I'm very particular about, them. And, it's like, they really got to check all the boxes. Or else it's like, because I don't really like dating.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm dating someone just to date them for a few weeks or something like that. It's like, if I'm going to date someone, they better be really freaking awesome. I've only ever been in, very long-term relationships.
Yeah.
Like I haven't been in a relationship that is under a year, I think.
Yeah.
So they've all been pretty long. It's like if I'm gonna date someone, it's gonna be for the long haul.
Yeah.
So they've got to be like really awesome and check all the boxes. That'll happen at some point.
Absolutely.
I'm not too worried about it. When the right girl comes around, she'll come around.
Yeah. Yeah, like I just can't imagine how tough it is to do the whole dating thing, at this point in life. Like I'm married 25 years and I oh my God, the whole social media thing or, it's just, oh my God, no, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, in the wise words of Lupo, she's out there. She's out there for me. So
absolutely. You'll find her somewhere.
Yeah. I'm not too worried about it. But I mean, right now I'm really happy with just having all the friendships I have.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm really happy with that. And TwitchCon is coming up and I'm just really excited to like see people there and hang out, and that's gonna be incredible. So
yeah.
Now,
who are you looking forward to meeting IRL out of
at TwitchCon?
Yeah.
Hodsy is probably my number one, actually.
Yeah.
Hodsy's my number one. Hodsy, Jesse Kazam, who have I not met yet that I'm meeting at TwitchCon? I've actually met a lot of these people. I've met Blaze, if you know X Blaze.
Mm-hmm.
Blaze is awesome. And his Blaze and his fiance are really cool. I love his fiance too. His fiance is like, Blaze is like a little bit reserved.
Yeah.
He's like very chill, a little bit reserved, and his fiance is like very full of energy. I love that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So they're really cool. I'm excited to see them. Obviously, anytime I get to hang out with Ames is awesome.
Yeah.
Reef and Nyxia both won't be there. I'm so sad about that. Yeah, so that's tragic. Yeah, really excited to see a lot of people there. Yeah, Hodzi, Jessica Sam, I'm gonna meet for the first time. Who else am I gonna meet for the first time? I don't know if like Pestely's gonna be there.
Yeah, Pest
Tweak
is going to be
will
out
be
there.
there.
Yep.
Oh yeah, so seeing Pest will be cool. And who else? I'll be meeting Velion for the first time.
Oh yeah, you got Tweak moving to Texas. I forgot about that
Yeah,
too.
Tweak's
Yeah.
gonna move to Texas. I'm gonna have to hang out with him. That'll be cool.
He will. Yeah,
That'll be
he's
cool.
never been to Texas before. So
Oh,
yeah, it's just like,
yeah.
oh my God, he's moving to Texas. He's never been there. The heat. Oh my God, he's in for a shock.
Yeah. I think that he's really gonna enjoy himself though. Another person who's going out there is Mr. Gibbon. I'm excited to see him.
Yep.
That'll be cool. Bazinga is gonna be there.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And then I think I can't remember if Magpie is gonna be out there. She'll be cool to see. Man, who else?
It's gonna be a blast.
I'm actually like, what's up?
It's gonna be a blast.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a really good time. So I'm excited for TwitchCon. That'll be fun. Oh, you know who is another one who you may know of? Do you know JewLee by chance?
Just from Twitter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. JewLee's great. JewLee's great. She's like Tarkov mom, super like, dude. I mean, like, she's like a superhuman. She like streams. She's a super mod. She's incredible. So I'm really excited to see her as well. She like puts in so much work to make other people's streams better on top of her own, which I think is like very selfless of her. So that's really cool. I've got like a bunch of members from my community that are going to be out there. So I'm excited to see them. That'll be cool. Other than that, I've met a lot of these streamers that I'm going to see out there actually, which is really cool. But a few new faces, definitely Velion, Mr. Gibbon, Hodzi. Hodzi's probably the number one just because I've known her the longest.
Yeah.
And then also Jesse Kazam will be really cool to see. And Sealable Bag will be there as well. I just figured out he was going yesterday.
Nice.
So that'll be cool. I'm very, very excited to just like walk around, eat food.
Shit, there's gonna be nobody on Twitch.
You know,
good opportunity for
interesting
to get
that is true. That is true. Honestly, if you're not going to TwitchCon, it is a really good time to stream for sure. That is definitely like a thing. Some big streamers even strategically don't go to TwitchCon for that reason. But for me, I'm just like, you know what I mean? I'd rather the experience. So I'm just gonna go for it. I think it'll be worth and it'll be incredible. And
absolutely.
I haven't taken like a vacation like this and since I went to Vegas for 3 days January. So
excellent.
Probably due for something like this.
Oh, you earned it. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
And now it's gonna be awesome. So very excited.
Excellent. Well, hey, you survived the podcast, man.
Did I make it?
You did. You made it through. But now, before you go, though, you got to call out somebody. Nyxia threw you under the bus. So now you've got to call out somebody.
I mean, I think if you've gotten me and Nyxia on here, you really got to get Reefy as well.
Absolutely.
I think you got to get Reefy. And I think that he is going to be, if you get him on here, he's going to be a freaking trip.
All right.
That's for sure. He is a trip and a half. I think it will be very different from doing a podcast with me or Nyxia. So I feel like I'm the most we're all three of us are really freaking goofy.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like the very I'm
more
like
reserved goofy.
I'm the more reserved goofy.
Yeah.
Nyxia's in the middle where she's like neutral goofy, where she's like pretty freaking goofy, but she's like
pretty
all over
goofy,
the place.
but yeah.
She's pretty goofy. And then Reefy is he's out there. Reefy is a freaking space cadet. He's out there.
Excellent. So all right, we'll get him on then.
That'll be awesome.
All right. Well, Jay, thank you so much for doing this. It was awesome to meet you, and thank you so much for the time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me on. It was a really good time, and appreciate you having me on for the podcast.
Thank you.